Hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk to you about how to thrive with EPM in today's uncertain times. This is a topic that Interall has been talking about since March 11th, 2020, when COVID-19 was upgraded to a global pandemic. We followed that with a hosted one-day cross-partner virtual conference where we showed customers how to use the Oracle EPM suite to help them survive this challenging time. The topic is so popular, in fact, that we've seen a number of our partner competitors follow in our footsteps with similar webcasts. The Oracle EPM product management team started hosting their own webcasts on this subject as recently as last week. And Interal's own CEO, Edward Roski, will be doing a deep dive of this topic with Josh Kamenika's team on May 11th. The reason why this topic is so prevalent is because of the crazy world we're living in now. Uncertainty planning is the concept of preparing for what if. What if our organization, our industry, the entire economy goes a different direction? Companies started doing uncertainty planning with important business disruptions, like when Airbnb and Uber disrupted the travel industry. And now they're doing uncertainty planning because the world is changing due to COVID-19, and we don't know yet how severe the impact is going to be. There are many special tools within the Oracle EPM suite, and this topic covers the 5 that we feel are the compelling ones during this particular time of uncertainty. Ford once said that if he had asked the people at the start of the 20th century what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse. And if you ask people what they want now, they'll tell you toilet paper, Purell, a new show to binge watch on Netflix, and to wake up tomorrow to find out that this whole coronavirus thing was just a bad dream. But like Henry Ford, we have to sell people what they need, not what they want. And what they need is help. They want certainty in an uncertain world. They want quick tools that will make their lives easier, not complicated solutions that take months and years to implement. I'll cover the top 5 EPM solutions customers are interested in, what arguments you can use to sell them, which ones can be implemented in weeks, one functional use case, and we'll make it all generic enough to span multiple industries. So let's dive into our first tool for surviving change. The absolute most important tool that companies need right now is scenario planning. During times of massive upheaval, the finance department and other departments crunching the numbers go from being useless overhead to being the most important department in the company. Why? Because during times of change, people crave information. Your customers are focused on planning for the outcome of this coronavirus environment. What you're going to hear a lot from your customers is, I have no idea what to do. This is where you come in, and you can plant good ideas in their heads. Rather than sit back and say, call me, you need to tell them that they need to be doing scenario planning. Time is of the essence. They must be able to generate new scenarios in minutes, not days. To give you an example, one of Interall's customers is Carnival Cruise Lines. If you've been paying attention to the news this week, one of their competitors, Norwegian Cruise Lines, just by the skin of their teeth, raised $2 billion to avoid bankruptcy. Think about the dire situation cruise lines are in, and keep Norwegian in mind when I tell you this next part. We were implementing planning worldwide for Carnival's line Holland America back in January of this year. Carnival is the cruise brand that owns Princess Cruises, which operates the cruise boats that broke out with massive COVID-19 cases, as you may have heard in the news a couple of months ago. We were also implementing planning for their sister brand, Carnival UK. Well, as you might expect, they called us at the end of March and stopped their planning project. Yep, it was a good call. You can't operate ships with zero revenue. They told us that they were putting their project on hold and weren't sure for how long, and we completely understood. But then they surprised us when they said they wanted to redirect our resources to a new project. Carnival UK wanted us to focus on scenario planning and strategic modeling, what's going to happen to their capital, how much money they're going to need, and when they're going to run out of money. And they wanted it in 30 days. It really got us thinking. In slow times, we can focus on precision. In critical times, we need aggregated data and quickly. Luckily, this tool allows for quick scenario development. Customers need scenario planning for one very certain reason. Their budgeted numbers for this year are going to be wrong. Let me repeat that. Every customer's budgeted numbers for this year are going to be wrong. So it's time to come up with some additional possible situations that might occur. And side note, every single screenshot that we're showing is Oracle EPM Cloud. This one shows planning. If your customer has enterprise licensing, then they already have every single thing that we're showing in this presentation. For this reason, we're telling our customers right now, if you don't have a scenario planning tool, go get Oracle EPM Cloud Enterprise. But how do they get started? We have 3 simple rules that you can share with your customer. The first rule of scenario planning, and no, this is not like Fight Club, is to determine which 2 to 5 scenarios are most likely to occur. The second rule of scenario planning is then to use those KPIs to derive the forecast. And then once they have these new scenarios planned, they can take these forecasts and share them with the organization in addition to an action plan. It really is that simple. So now let's talk about a general use case that applies to all customers and industries in regard to scenario planning. This one just happens to be a chemical firm. It's the middle of April. Let's say March numbers are in. Forecast has already been updated with the latest actuals. We can see from the actuals data that we had a very big dip in March. But you'll notice that the future forecasted months are still in line with the original plan, which we know we're not going to hit in these COVID-19 times. Unfortunately, we didn't take the coronavirus seriously. We didn't do any cost-cutting measures in March, so our expenses remained in line with the original forecast. So what caused that massive decline in net income? Well, it was revenue. We didn't adjust any expenses quickly enough in March, and now we've missed the boat on April. We have to do something for May. The very next thing we need to figure out is, are we going to run out of money? When we check on our cash, we see that we still have positive cash flow, but lower than expected, because companies right now are concerned with liquidity. And we know the current cash forecast is no longer accurate. Although we'd like to get back to those higher income levels, it's just not going to happen. So the good news is that in Oracle EPM, your customers can use tools to create alternate scenarios, and that's where you should guide them. And here's an example of that. We can now see the trend with multiple scenarios forecasted out. How does each impact cost? Yikes, it is not good in some months. So I need to continue to refine and tweak, and I can even do that in real time. Which brings me to the second tool we need during times of major change. Strategic modeling, sometimes called scenario modeling, sometimes called the legacy Hyperion strategic finance. This tool helps customers figure out what their financial constraints are. Strategic modeling is sometimes called scenario modeling, strategic planning, constraint-based modeling, LRP, which stands for long-range planning, and driver-based long-range financial planning. If you hear any of these terms, this is the tool for your customer. But whatever customers call it, they use strategic modeling to model their revenue, expenses, balance sheet, and cash flow, so they have some idea of their liquidity. When we're positioning strategic modeling, most customers say, right now, I don't have time to figure out my liquidity. What we tell them is that it's really, really simple to start using this tool. If they don't know where to start, there's a bunch of templates out there. Go pick one, then use the wizard to assist with the details. Scenario modeling is the second tool that consulting firms like ours can implement in weeks, like for Carnival UK. There's another tool though. First, customers need to imagine and then plan out their scenarios, but then they'll want to understand those impacts to profitability and costs. Everything trickles down. Enter profitability and cost management. Customers should not wait on this one. They have products, services, locations, and their own customers that are making them money. They need to find out which products need to be stopping and which locations they need to be closing. Then take those unprofitable money drains and stop doing them now while they still have liquidity. This amazing tool allows answers to questions like, what are the most profitable and least profitable products and locations? Right now, customers are in reactive mode. What they're closing down is either everything or they're closing things down in reaction to a local coronavirus outbreak. Far too many companies wait until they're out of money to figure out what they should be stopping. Customers need to be using this tool while cash is king. Our customers need to figure out in the next 30 days which stores are costing them money, which facilities are expendable, and which people aren't pulling their own weight. They need to take those high-level costs, allocate them down by product, location, and customer or whatever, and then take action. One of the competitive differentiators between profitability and cost management and any other competitor solution out there is that unlike those code-driven solutions like SAP or Acorn, we can graphically trace allocations in PCM. We can see where those numbers started, where they got pushed down, how they got allocated by product, by customer, by service, see the contribution amount, and choose the level of detail. The fourth tool customers need right now is data visualizations, so they can get a big picture view of the key performance indicators in real time. Organizations have to make sure that they're absorbing information as it comes in. This global pandemic situation is changing too rapidly to wait until the quarter closes to find out what happened. If there's data that will cause someone to take a different physical action or cause them to ask a deeper question, they need that data now. There are a couple of ways for business users to do this quickly inside Oracle EPM Cloud without having to jump out to a complex IT-intensive dashboarding program. First of all, there are dashboards built into Oracle EPM that give customers a heads-up display on their financials. And these dashboards are super easy to create because they recycle the forms which are already being leveraged by the customer to input their forecast, budget, and other scenarios. And the dashboards are fully interactive. If users edit data, they'll immediately see the impact. So it's good to combine data with the visualizations to make that impact. The one you see here took 6 minutes. It's that fast. Another quick way to make a visualization within Oracle EPM is through a feature called infolets. These are simple visualizations that can be created quickly and then sprinkled throughout the product. These have a simple drag and drop interface that literally takes minutes to learn. One of the powerful ways customers can use these is to show small bits of information so that users can see the information and how it's progressing as they go through their budget or close process. Customers can also take these infolets and other more sophisticated graphics to make a dashboard in minutes instead of days. Because when the economy is changing this rapidly, we don't have days. And the fifth tool customers need right now is narrative reporting. People think that narrative reporting should only be used after the fact to explain budget and forecast variances to actuals. Customers should use it ahead of time to communicate the scenarios they planned. They need to use it to communicate how they'll respond when it's clear which scenario they're in. Narrative reporting is another way of saying giving context to your data, or to put it still another way, explaining why your budget is off. Variance analysis is the most common place that narrative reporting shows up because it lets our customers have a constructive dialogue about why their budgets are off. But there are other usages, from preparing books of reports, to distributing packages of information, to creating financial statements, to opening up a dialogue ahead of time about the numbers. There are customers today, Nordstrom, Gap, even Netflix, whose narrative right now is sadly, we know our prior guidance is incorrect, so our new guidance is ignore our prior guidance. Those types of answers make Wall Street beat up companies for uncertainty. Don't let your customers fall prey to that situation. Narrative reporting is our customers' way of unjamming the lines of communication so they can have constructive conversations about why their numbers are wrong and what they're going to do about it. Here's an example of the end result, what we built for a healthcare demo. Look at how sexy this tool is. You can sell this. And the good news is that narrative reporting is built into all of Oracle EPM Cloud. It doesn't matter which tier the customer is on. To bring this all together, your customers need information now more than ever. They need Oracle EPM Cloud Enterprise. They need scenario planning to help plan for possible scenarios, strategic modeling to figure out how to stay within their constraints, PCM to know what areas are making money and which ones are losing money, data visualizations to see data as it comes in, to take action now. And finally, they need narrative reporting to have a better conversation about their numbers. Now let's get out there and sell some software.